Braka. What's good, YouTube? Hope all is well. We only on the YouTube. Fiddle daddle, kittle gaddle. Hope not to be long, but hey, we know how we do it. We got the worm, the bug worm. We got the Ouija tech. We got the MK Ultra sending signals magically. Lucky charms in people with the leprechaun. YouTube gotta get used to, how I talk. I ain't no different than what's already been out here, but maybe you understand. Maybe you won't. That's all up to you. I'm about to. You're about to hear a little echo in the background. I'm about to see how we sound. I move a lot, and the device cannot keep up with us. So too much movement will cause it to start acting a little friction. So I'll be forgetting that on different devices I have to do certain things. So it's your boy B.C. the Ivet Group, B.C. the Hebrew. So let me get up out of here like that. Reset the settings. Come back up in here. We're going to be talking about the same artificial but molecular structures that's in your metaphysics. You understand that word. But in all actuality, they have made synthetic goo. That's what we can call it. We got to make up some old crazy name, sound crazy, and all kinds of stuff. Because they are getting very technical on the platforms of social media, so on. Things are being hard. Like it's hard for me to find my video. I know I'm live. They said so. Oh boy, the stuff that they make you go through. Just go view the channel, see what happens. You know what I mean? Once you try every other way, there it goes. It's always a way to skin to a cat. Here we go. There it goes. All right, so we got that out the way. Braka de Tovis. I told y'all when I be on YouTube, I can see comments of everybody that's on YouTube. So you don't be thinking I'm lying when I flip the screen like I'm about to do. I can't see y'all comments no more, so therefore you won't see that. So, woof, that was hard. Braka. Now we got that out the way. All right. So we're going to do right here is we're going to open up a doorway so that you can see nothing but that screen. You see my copper color face. Some people that was all out there. I'm scared. This is someone I can't see. Hey, what? Well, you better not never say you love God. Damn sure not seeing him. People say the darnest things. They be cracking me up, though, But right there, look before you, right there to the left for the screen. I'm about to switch screens now. Look over here. Look. All that in your food looking like black bugs. Bugs. Or the larvae of flies. Look at that. They wall up and they make a form. Spongy-like. And this is what people be getting heart attacks. These are assassination hits. Looking like it's natural, like the weather. Oh, we're just going to send a volcano over there. Because it's a volcano, we think, God and nature did that. There ain't no such thing. Look at that. That's a million particles, boy. Some stuff you need a microscope. All that. Swimming all in your belly. Yeah. Old snake-like niggas. It's a viperous generation, y'all. Y'all getting it? Yeah. Look at that. Oh, man. It's in your McDonald's. Your Burger King. Your grocery store. Come on, take a look at it now. Look, you're buying this to kill you. Look at it now. Take a good look. YouTube, y'all all right? Nobody get offended. It's my page right here. For those that want to know. for dazzling eyes and ears. We almost there. We just need to get 1,000, y'all, and that's for no million. I don't want no advertising. I just want to hit that live button. That's it. All right, back on topic. You can check the new song out right there. Freaky ass niggas are 69 gods. You know Kendrick killing them out there. You know what I'm saying? Check your boy out. All right. A remix of a remake, what we call the MP3 mix, digital mixtape, you know, because we don't got tape no more. So that's why I had to say all that, because we're digital age. And what was on the tape or CD, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to get used to this guy. But back on topic over here. I'm going to go over here to J-Dub TV. And most things that we talked about that we are going to think, we will, hold on, we will, or you will see, we didn't lie. You got 20 minutes. Seems to be here a dilemma. Unfreeze yourself, AI. You have to do job, guy. Let's go. Let's get it. See y'all. See how they be acting. Tell you, everybody on the high frequency, go through it.
You are aligned here. You have a purpose and reasoning for coming across this. So I want you to take this seriously as we get deeper into what we're going to be dealing with. And we want to break down every aspect and like also show you how you can destroy or potentially remove these things from your life. So the first thing you want to go into to remind people is that cyborg cells was dropped into our environment, and then recently in 2024 they came out saying the computer now has these human cells and it works with it. But the people who dropped cyborg cells in the environment are right here on screen. And we're going to go into how the graphene, the cyborg cells, which they are infused with artificial polymer, is what they're going to use to basically morph the environment, and how certain parasites are already basically infused with some of this. This is going to go deep. So we're going to go dive deeper than anybody probably has before. Synthetic biology aims to engineer cells can carry out no functions. One is to take a living bacteria cell and remodel its DNA with new genes and give it new functions. First approach, engineering a living cell has great flexibility, but it is also able to reproduce itself, which may not be desirable. A completely artificial cell cannot reproduce, but is less complex and only capable of limited task range. Why is this? Because moving further into what we're talking about here, the cyborg cells are actually merging with the graphene, that glue stuff, which is a part of the hive mind agenda, which Nokia chose to basically run that initiative. Nokia is not just in Europe, it's in every country that you can really imagine. So you take that and you talk about nano-infused black goo, and it's self-assembling and is self-repairing. Remember, it's also magnetic. So you have something magnetic, and don't forget, we're going to also present the solutions here, because you watch this, because this is going to bring you down into what's really going on internally inside of us. So why would they need these magnetic objects to grab stuff inside of the body? Why would they need these self-assembling? And what does graphene actually do? When you go into it, it actually pulls out good bacteria in your gut microbiome. That came out from a SciTech Daily. I knew about this, but specifically, that's what you need in the immune system. You need to have the good bacteria there. So when people in Hawaii see all this black goo-like stuff coming out of their like faucets, the sinks, and there's another photo of it. And when people just honestly understand how the technology, 5G and 6G, is magnetic, and this year they put 900,000 into optimizing graphene energy harvesting. So they're not only wanting to remove certain good probiotics from your gut, they all
recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. So excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible...
They also want to use these things to zap energy. So these parasites are basically like these AI modified cybernetic worms. And sure, they've created AI worms as well, but I mean, those are artificial ones, but in reality, they've created cyborg worms. And it was just a recent event that was happening in Queensland where they seen like a bunch of sea worms everywhere, which they were saying like they haven't seen stuff like this before. You can see it on video right here. It was just like hundreds and hundreds of them. And it was a marine biologist, and he said that there's a chance that the species has not been described. He literally said that. I'll show you here in a second. And fishers told Robert Norris that they had never seen such a proliferation of species. So we're talking about somebody who lives here for years and years. This was just recent. This just happened. This was January. Okay, you can't say just, but January 14, 2024. Still in 2024. Check it out. So we're talking a species, and they don't know what it is. It said as far as they can see, worms swarm along the water surface in what looks like an apex scene of a sci-fi thriller. So if they can't identify the worms, they don't know what the species is yet, okay, well, that means some weird stuff is going on here. And we're going to move further into like the deeper part of all of this and get into, you know, this gooey stuff. They actually, the black goo, graphene, they actually launched the investigation a while ago because they were figuring out like, wait a minute, why is this stuff all of a sudden over monuments, and why is it
now? Remember after the eclipse or AI technology or all-in-one still Operation Breath of God, however you look at it, it was some black thing in the water, right? You know the worm things? Well, you know, water is a glass, it's a mirror, it's a conduit. Same how you see stuff in shapes and forms and giant men in the sky also. Just a pointer, right? Because you did see the guy look like Moses, Enki, whatever in the sky, lightning. There's water up there. But you saw the shadow, like that shadow, like my video of how they flew, or what you thought was the stealth bomber. You was looking at a Project Blue Beam screen, noise and all. Because they were just crying about, takes $3 million to fill up the gas. God dang, it's a lot of money for the gas. But anyway, they all look the same. You could project with light, water, and energy is the same as liquid, solid, gas.
Is it all of a sudden just around the world in different areas where, and they got photos of this stuff. You can see it. Strangely enough, it's all over Washington, D.C. And well, yeah, it's a bunch of parasites there. But I mean, when you look at this and where it was permeated, you ask a question like, what is this stuff actually, and what is actually going on? The deeper aspect of what we're talking about here with this black slime looking stuff. This is technological in some type of way. And when we move down this technological field and we talk about this with you, we got to tell you that it goes deeper than what they've been just telling us on the surface level. Let's look at when they went into the investigation. Planets across the globe are being visibly darkened by sun, which NPS explains as actually a stubborn colony of microscopic organisms called biofilm. Since 2014, a team of conservatives, architects, and molecular biologists have been preparing to test potential treatment options. Method of a permanent removal of the blight has not yet been established. And then in other reports, they were saying they can get it to come off. So, moving down into this deeper aspect of what we're dealing with now. So I had to bring that up to bring up the next part of how a lot of these parasites and stuff like that can be literally destroyed. And that's what we're going to talk about here in this next coming part. Now that you know what they're doing with it, the cyborg cells, the graphene is infusing. It's also like its own cybernetic computer. So imagine a worm where and they've come out in the military. I found out in reports, oh, we're trying to make worms that can give you drug therapy. So you thought you just had to worry about a microchip? And you're like, what are you talking about? I'll put it up on screen so it don't sound so crazy. Protect the biosystems, parasites to fight chemical and biological weapons, meaning that they've engineered parasites already. They said CRISPR-Cas9 was how they done it. CRISPR-Cas9, the team will create parasitic, how do you say that? Helminths, however you say the word there, that secrete drugs. And they say, oh, it's just to counteract bioterrorism and to protect the parasitic infected subject against chemical and biological agents. So they've engineered basically parasites already. And the artificial sun is a magnetic field. But we did find something really interesting about the magnetic part of what we're going to be dealing with here. Somebody says chalk. I'm going to tell you some really good stuff because everybody is giving some good information in the comments, but I'm going to go really deeper into how we can really start to destroy things. But the first one I want to get into is called a royal rife. And actually, it was something I did last night. So he found out a couple of years back, which they said, oh, he's a fraud and all this stuff. His supporters continue to claim that impulse electromagnetic frequencies can disable cancerous cells and other microorganisms, right? So what he found out, he went deeper into this. It says Rife supporters continue to claim that impulses of electromagnetic frequencies could basically disable these things that we're talking about here. Most of these claims have no scientific research and back them up. Rife machine not approved for treatment by health authorities around the world. He was convicted. People were in prison behind this. But the funny thing is now that you just have people coming out with tumor-destroying sound wave machines, and you have coming out with destroying 99% of cancer cells in the lab using vibrant molecules. So you can tune out if you want, but I'm about to tell you the next part that's really important here. You know, so basically the Rife machine that we're talking about is, this is what it all consists of. And we're also going to get into malaria parasite and how that can be destroyed. So when you go into this right here and you look at it, it's on screen. 1150 Rife frequency is the frequency. I literally listened to it last night. Put earphones on. I took black walnut, green hull while I was doing it, and I was drinking water while I was doing this at the same time. Some people have said that after they listen to this frequency, they start to see themselves passing worms, and they start to see a lot of improvements, lymph drainage, nose running, stopping. And that's in the comments of a video right that you can go and find this frequency. 1150. You got to understand that everything in this universe is created on sound. When you go into a church or whatever and you hear people singing and you feel a good energy, that's because those people generally have good energy. They're coming together and bringing those sound waves together. If somebody pray over water for 7 days, like basically I've had happen in my life, they're using sound energy and frequency to change that water, and that prayer is powerful. So this is the same concept here. This energy, this frequency is basically one of the parasite destroyers, supposedly. So what I've been using it myself. Then I found out another thing that the coils also can do, because they were talking about the malaria parasites, and because it's like so many different parasites. But the 1150 is important. Remember, I told you 1111 frequency was the one that in laboratory I found documented studies showing people's tissue healing faster, showing that the energy, like all this HARP stuff that's shooting at us and all these waves is helping improve the healing at a different level. So I wanted to go into this, though, the malaria parasite and how they found out that magnetic fields could destroy some of these parasites. And they were talking about common magnets that was on the market. Commercially available magnets were originally developed for the purpose of antibody cell purification, are widely used for this purpose. As these methods are not necessarily optimized for parasite purification, the relationship between magnetic field strength and the quantity and quality of yield during parasitic purification was explored. So what they did is they went into a lab and they took a coil, which is what you call a Tesla coil. And with that coil, this is what they looked into. They ended up testing out a weak one, not a super strong one, a weak oscillating or magnetic field. And they showed that the exposed samples ended up with 33 to 7% fewer parasites than the unexposed samples. So what they're simply saying here is that these oscillating magnetic fields may affect the parasites in two ways. It says organisms still in the process of binding free heme molecules into stacks. The alternate field likely shakes the stacked heme molecules, preventing further stacking. That would allow harmful heme-free reign within the parasite. If the parasite is further along its life cycle, has already bound the heme into stacks, the oscillating field could cause the stacks to spin, causing damage and the death of the parasite. And they were saying more researchers was that scenario. But what is he talking about, these oscillating magnetic fields? So they have these coils, call them Tesla coils right here. They look like this. And it's basically on the website, which is got medbedusa.com. Thing is, these are expensive though. We're talking like $1,000 for these things. And that's why that's why I was promoting the sound to you, because if you don't have the money to do that, I understand. I don't have the money to do this. Tesla coil paddles, full package with parasite removal rods. And testimonials was on their website about somebody named Laura, and it was also helping her and her horse. But we're talking technology though, that's basically doing the exact opposite of doing to us. And you know, all the bad stuff coming out is still a bunch of good things still happening. And so we wanted to bring this out because 6G, high mono G, and you got to understand that even this right here I have on, this is shungite. 100% is from Russia. I told you America doesn't have 100% real shungite. That's why I was telling the RF energy absorption of these frequencies is actually helping this graphene, the cyborg cells interact with communications. That's why we've been brought all this to you for the future. See, the oscillating magnetic field, the primary winding and oscillate current and secondary winding by Faraday's law of induction over a number of cycles. The energy in the primary circuit is transferred to the secondary. And this energy disrupts the cells of these worms and parasites and stuff like that. But I think this is one that I wanted to hear what you all say if you go and listen to it. And you put some earphones on and you just maybe say a prayer or whatever before you do a discern.
Did Harvard University just find a way to restore crystal clear 20/20 vision without glasses, contacts, or surgery? The best part? This incredible...
Do it, discern it, get your water and stuff like that. Have some stuff that you could really take if you choose to do that. But I'm just telling you the situation that basically I went through. It just kind of gave me this really calm feeling. And I'm going to try it again. I didn't see anything past or nothing like that. Because I've been constantly just focused on detoxing parasites. But you got to understand that America right now, just like in a lot of areas, people are being misdiagnosed. I even looked at something where a lady was saying that a lot of the women who get UTI infections, they go in and they don't tell them that they have like a larvae eggs or something like that being put on the report, but then it's being covered up and taken off. And like in early times, they talked about how these parasites was affecting us. And I get it; it comes from so much time, and we have them just active in us. And the problem is the overpopulation of them. You're talking about somebody who went through Hurricane Katrina, who's seen parasites and had to like actually like remove them from our bodies because we walked through the mud and it was like rainy. And you go through storms, you better prepare to be detoxing. You go through mud, you gotta be prepared to detox. And I mean, just the common food out here in the world today, these things suck your life force away. I already know about it. They suck your energy, they suck your life force, they give you brain fog, all of that stuff. That's why it's important to cleanse that, because think about it, the parasite, graphene, is connected to their basically sick system, where they're trying to basically, you said graphene is connected to something like the demon, plasmones and demons, we told you about that. They're using that because it's like this ritual of energy harvesting for them. And the more we sit here and talk about it and we expose it, we have more power and dominion over it. That's why we get up here and talk about it, because this is like really important. What's more important outside of your spirit than seeing basically your own body succeed and being healthy and not being attacked like it's going to be? I says, bro, what's going on? Somebody says many Christians are against crystals, but I think they see it in the wrong light. I use them and it neutralizes. I mean, it's because they have this concept that, oh my gosh, stay away from it, and oh, it's scary. And in reality, the funny thing is that memory is on crystals. Crystals is all around you. Actually, our body has crystals in them. They was talking about this in this study. They were saying like our body produces a certain type of crystal from iron and stuff like that, which the parasites try to go and then use. So all I'm trying to say is like this entire universe is made up of crystals and all this other stuff. The crazy part is though, you can't just look at a flower and say the flower is evil. You just because somebody uses it, you can't look at an eagle and say it's evil because the Illuminati uses it as a symbol. Thing is, everything is used in conjunction. It depends on the energy wielder. So again, that's how I feel about it. You can't just say, oh, it's evil. And, oh my God, like we just got to run away. But that's because obviously the gatekeepers behind the whole scenario that tells you just to stay away from everything and be afraid. And that's really a problem when it comes to your own self-healing.
You cannot be afraid to stand on your faith, because you never know. Others might be watching you. This is one of many things in many ways that attack us. The beast is the mentality of the man that thinks that do not want moralistic or an immortal life in the spirit. Anything that is the opposite of the fruit is the beast. Beasts like meat, the carnivores only. So therefore, know thyself and know the value of self. Braca, Angel Roland, Mike Hunley. I didn't see y'all before. Now I'm back on the screen. As I said before, we ain't making them long. Let's get enough sauce in your spaghetti, season on your vegetables or meat. We all speak the truth through the holy Ruach Eshe, Iso Asha. For we are the body and the spirit is the head. And when we unite, we're still one, but we're many, but we're still one. 1 times 1 is an addition, plus it also means it's one. There's nothing made without the spirit, not nothing. So everything is the spirit, but it did multiply, a multiplicity of itself, but nothing is all absolute, except absolute itself. I'm BC the Tishvite, BC the I Vet Group. Ishe, Shalawah.